Okay, folks, how's it been going? Well, got some more cars here, and it's not as many as I normally make, but I'm trying to balance out some things. So I just wanted to make a few good cars and show them off, and so I got this one here. This one I haven't really named yet. This was just a kind of an experiment. I've seen some people turning these kind of cars into trikes. And I'm not sure if I'll run this as a buggy or a performance car, but it's essentially just, scaled up big wheel and with the big engine. And I kind of like how this one turned out. It's so just a spare wheel I had, and then I made the uh, forks. I think that's what they're called. Out of some Final Faction bits and some Civil War carriage bits, the carriage wheels, and just mounted those to the front of the car so it would have the ability to flex and turn, and be able to, because like it'd be like this way, it would be able to kind of turn like that, so and pivot on that center wheel. And I imagine that would, hit another car, come up, just roll right over it. And but got some 3D printed wheels on the back here. It's a very simple build. Just little small rocket launcher on the back, or that could just be a dropper. You could have that as a mine dropper. If I want to go with a lesser can build, because it is kind of a small bit, but. Got some flames, some hazard signs, and the little number 15 is from these. Um, I found these, and they're a little wonky to work with, but you can see here I've messed around with them. They're basically just rub-on lettering, numbers and stuff. So I found those. They work great. And just slap on some Mod Podge so they don't rub right back off, and you're good to go. And so we got the crew here. We got a couple punks, bald chick with a chain around her neck and a chainsaw, and another guy with a mohawk and a submachine gun. So yeah, wouldn't want to get too close to that one, but and plus I kind of like the purplishly pink and blue. I was kind of on that because I did the same kind of purple and blue idea with this one, and so this one is basically 3D printed missile launcher thing from Finn's Custom Diecast, I believe. And then nail art decal, and then I made that. That's a custom decal. I found some old decal paper and some old decal spray, and even though I knew it was about 10 maybe 15 years old, it worked, and I'm happy. So this is Black Swan, so obviously it's Maxine car, and get like I said, the nail art decals with the kind of the Asian flower petals and stuff around it, and of course I got a skull because skulls. It's still Gaslands. You gotta have your kill marks and stuff. But I'm not sure what I'll call this one, but I am happy with how the decals turned out on that one. And then I had this little fella here. This is 3D printed by me. Well, the bike is, but the handlebars were so small they just, they disintegrated when I touched them. And the front wheels here didn't really form, so I kind of had to make it look like it was kind of stuffed with mud. This is definitely more of a ramshackle kind of bike with a rocket turret on it, because I'm going to use this as a bike with a sidecar. So it's got a lot of firepower for such a very small vehicle. And got the guy over here who's got a crossbow, and that is basically a 1/72 Gaul. It's either Gaul or Celt. But they're made by Italieri, and it's one of my favorite kits. I've shown in previous videos that they really are my favorite kit for making Gaslands people, because they're shirtless, they're crazy. Most of them have hands raised up. It's easy to put little small pistols in them, or they come with spears and shields, so it's really good for that. And so I replaced the handlebars with just these little pieces of plastic I found, and it looks okay. It's not perfect, but then again, at this scale, you're not going to see a lot of the things that would be on a motorcycle anyway. You're not going to see the handbrakes and the throttle stuff. I don't know motorcycles that well, even though my dad used to ride one all the time. But I should know it. I've ridden it on several times. But anyway, so you got the little girl with him. She's got a little mine, a gas mask. That came from a Wastelands kit on Thingiverse, and I printed out the stuff I could. They had basically a bunch of freebie stuff, and then they have their Kickstarter stuff that you can get. So I got their freebie stuff to print, and that was one of them. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with her, but I was like, she just fits in there perfectly, so yeah, she's helping her dad by blowing up the competition, dropping these landmines, and it's got a little smoke launcher at the back. And the glare's kind of masking the number 3 and the little spider symbols on the back. There's little spiders on each of the backs of this. This actual 3D printed motorcycle, I think, is supposed to be a motorcycle and a Fiat 126 combined, I think. But you can tell real scale and Hot Wheels is a little off. But and it's kind of weird because motorcycles actually would be, this is the right size for the motorcycle, but I think the Fiat would be way smaller. I mean, Fiat part should be bigger. Motorcycle part's correct, but the Fiat part, I think, is smaller than what it should be. I could be wrong, though. I mean, I could be wrong, but... this one does have a name. This is the Obsidian Jackhammer. This is Pontiac Aztec with rams on the front and the side, and it's a slime build. It's got the 125 tank cannon on it, so it can generate the hazards. Because if you have more hazards than you have hull, that's how you get your audience votes. So this is actually, firing the gun actually kind of helps. Both get you closer to your goal of getting an audience vote and blowing up your opponent, which is also a good goal. And so got a girl up here with stop sign armor and a pistol. She's the gunner. But yeah, a lot of people who know me know that I actually really, I got a hair there. Get off of there. Go away. Alright. Anyway, so a lot of people know that I like Pontiacs, and I get teased a lot because I actually like the Pontiac Aztec. I wish I had a Pontiac Aztec. And so this is sort of my I can make a Pontiac Aztec badass. So I like how this turned out. This one really turned out well. But you know, it's basically a slime specialty. Because, like I said, it's going to ram into things, and if it's not ramming into things, it's blowing stuff up with that big gun. And I'm happy with it. I really am. And then there's this one. This is, again, another custom decal I made. That's the fox symbol on there. So, this is just a Scion XB. Originally, this little Scion, the body was completely clear. And so I put a magnet in, so you can see here. And so it's got turret. It's got the boom rim, side rims. This is, again, a slime build. But it's got the turreted machine gun and mine dropper. I'm not sure if I'm going to call it the Boom Fox or the Fox Box. I'm not really sure which one sounds better, but it's still the little fox, little trickster, sneaking in there, getting its shots, getting away, winning races. And I have a car I call the Razor Pegasus, and it's a Ford Ranchero. And I wanted to make another Razor Pegasus out of this car. This is one of the so this one might replace that one, but unless I think of a better name for it. But this was the Nissan Rotson that Hot Wheels made, and so I've seen a lot of people just take the base casting and strap guns to it because it comes pre-rusted and beat up. So I stripped off all the Hot Wheels painted rust and did my own. And so it's got a purple door, and yeah, you got this guy with the hatchet out the window. He's either going to throw the hatchet at somebody or try to whack at somebody's car. That's one thing I love about Gaslands. It can be a little wacky. Got the mortar up here. This can be used as a mortar, or I actually use this bit a lot as an improvised sludge thrower. And so I got these here. These are stabilizer fins off of a bomb, a Hasegawa kit. So it could be the bomb Pegasus, but exploding Pegasus. But so I like that engine. So didn't do much with the engine. I just painted it, painted the wiring and the weird thing at the top, and so it's also got a little dropper. If I decide to run this as a mine, a mortar, I can run that as well. But either way, it's fine. Could say it launches napalm and oil if I do run it as a Verney car, which is probably more than likely what I am going to run it as. And so that is pretty much all I've really done. And so I think I like doing just a few cars now instead of doing a big pack of cars. But the car of the month vehicle is this one, which I may not have shown before, but if I haven't, let's talk about it. The car of the month last month was subterranean vehicles. And And so I 3D printed this drill, and the center turning mechanism is a drink bottle cap. And then I had these big chunky chainsaw 3D printed pieces. And basically, at this scale, they look better as like rock saws. So that's kind of what these are. So it's got the big drill at the front. And so, oh, by the way, the theme was 6 feet under. So they wanted hearses and they wanted tunneling vehicles for the competition. So this is Dig Dug. If you've ever played Dig Dug, you know why I did a tunneling vehicle. So also that just dated how old I am, but you know, c'est la vie. And but anyway, so this vehicle, the only car part of it that's left is really the back end. I cut the whole front end off of it, and I left the tank treads. You can kind of see here, it's there's not much left of it, but the rest is actually sprues. You see here, the drive shaft to the wheels is a sprue, and the center driving mechanism is actually 2 Warhammer bases glued together. And then you got the 2 basic wheels, and then 3D printed drills, and like I said, the 3D printed rock saws. And then back here you got the smoke, which is basically I soaked a piece of cotton in black ink and paint mixture, and then I let it dry, and then kind of fluffed it out after it was dried. And then to kind of take off the little straggly edges, problem solver. This is a great tool for Gaslands vehicles. But if you're a kid, please get your parents to use this, and don't burn yourself and blame me later. But you can do a lot with a lighter for modeling. You can melt sprues and then pull them apart, and then you can create wiring that way. Again, just be careful. It is very easy to burn yourself or melt your model. But there's, like I said, there's as many uses as Mod Podge is. There's as many uses for a lighter. But anyway, so speaking of Mod Podge, some sand, made a goopy mixture with some brown paint and made the mud effects. And I think that looks really good, because I mean, this is a vehicle that has been tunneling under the ground, and really try to make sure I got all the mud and all the crevices and stuff, and all in the tracks and stuff. And then of course you've got, you know, a little bit of humor in there. As far as armament, I mean, it's the drill. And the drill and the rams on the side, and the big jet engine thing. That, I found that little bit on the hospital floor when I was taking care of my dad back in November. It was just one of those things, it's like, well, it looked weird, so I pocketed it. And so I don't know what that actually is. I think it came off an IV bag or something, but they were all over the floor at the hospital. So I had a few of them, but I kind of like it. It does look like a weird kind of retractable jet engine. So, yeah, but I do imagine that this center section here can turn the vehicle left and right, and then the tracks move it, and then the wheels can kind of give it extra power. And then the rock saws actually would grip and pull it forward too. But on the surface, you know, it's just not a vehicle you could safely hit at any direction. And you know, even if something hit it really hard, it would just, you know, lurch up like this and come right back down. It's, you know, even if it flipped over, it could run on the saws. You know, so yeah, it's a different kind of vehicle, but I don't know if I'll win. But it's a good try, I think. I like how it turned out. So with that, I'll let everybody go. Thank you for tuning in. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Comments are always welcome, within, you know, respect. And, you know, with that, take care, be safe, and goodbye.